Sing till the power of the Lord comes down. Lift up your voice. Be not afraid to sing till the power of the Lord comes down.
The Lord said to Noah, there's gonna be a flood.
The Lord said to Noah, get your feet out of the mud.
The Lord said to Noah, the animals coming too.
The Lord said to Noah, you can see them lining up 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 2, and they will sing till the power of the Lord comes down.
And they will
sing till the power of the Lord comes down. They lift their voices. They're not afraid to sing till the power of the Lord comes down. Who on earth do dwell, lift up your voices, let them swell a burning song with golden beam.
The silver moon with shimmering gleam.
The rushing wind that blows so strong.
The clouds that sail in heaven.
The flowing water pure and clear.
Makes music for our listening ears.
The fire so masterful and bright,
which brings us both warmth and light. The rising morning brings me joy.
The lights of evening, lights of evening, lights of evening, find a voice and sing till the power of the Lord comes down.
And
They will sing till the power of the Lord comes down. They lift their voices, they're not afraid to sing till the power of the Lord comes down. Now let us, 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 now let us.
Morning. Am I on?
Nope.
Do-do-do-do. I am now. Hey, good morning, everyone. Just come on in. Just keep on coming on in. I am so excited to see everyone. I want to tell you that we told our ushers, this service is not well attended. It's going to be just low key. Sorry, y'all. And what is your name? Jacob. Jacob wanted to sit in the front. Man, Jacob. This is how you do it. Go, Jacob. Good morning. I am Reverend Ali Casey Bell. My pronouns are
He, they, Reverend Ali.
awesome, awesome, awesome. You doing the work. All right. It's great to see you all here today. It's great to see you all here today. Let us greet each other in person and in the chat. Say hello. Hey, y'all. Greet each other.
Thank you, Bell Choir. What a joy it is to... Wow. Should do that more often.
We need more bell ringers, so please.
Yes.
And everybody welcome. Who needs music?
Welcome. It's a beautiful day at Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Abhi Janamanchi. My pronouns are he and him. I am a cisgender Indian male in his 50s with dark hair and a graying mustache. We gathered this morning as we have gathered for over 72 years on the ancestral lands of the Nacotchtank and Piscataway Conoy people, and on the land on which enslaved African people and their descendants labored and lived without choice or reward. We are mindful of the rich culture, history, and spirituality of the people who inhabited and cared for this land for generations, and we affirm the need to share this history, both present and future inhabitants of the land, while building a more just and welcoming future for all. Welcome to Cedar Lane. In this community, whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey and whatever your beliefs, sexual orientation, gender identity, documentation status, and disability, you are welcome to bring your whole self into this space. I extend a special welcome to our newcomers and guests this morning who are joining us in person and online. If you're new or still feeling new, please raise your hand if you feel comfortable doing so we may see you and welcome you. Let us give our friends a warm Cedar Lane welcome. And if you would, please keep your hands raised for just a moment longer. We would like to offer you a small gift in appreciation for choosing to take the risk to worship with us today. Welcome. And welcome to all who are joining us online. Please share your name in the chat where you're joining us from. We hope you will join us after service for some fellowship, coffee, and some goodies. Do we have some goodies today? Yes. We do. Lots of goodies. We are a food-based religion, and our real worship happens at coffee. And if you'd like to know more about Unitarian Universalism, beyond our being a food-based religion or how to get involved in this congregation, please fill out the newcomer form that is being linked in the chat or return it to one of our greeters. And if you have been attending for a while and you are interested in becoming a member of this religious community, we hope you will join Reverend Ali right here in the chapel after the service to sign the membership book. And our weekly e-newsletter is a great way to stay updated about all the happenings at Cedar Lane. And you can sign up for our newsletter on our website's homepage, www.cedarlane.org. Our caring ministry team is an extension of our ministry at Cedar Lane. And Angela Wall, where is Angela? Is our member who is here today in person, and we also have caring team members online. Thank you, Angela. In this spirit, we gather. In this spirit, we begin.
Try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days and wild strawberries, drops of rosé wine, the nettles that methodically overgrow the abandoned homesteads of exiles. You must praise the mutilated world. You watch the stylish yachts and ships. One of them had a long trip ahead of it, while salty oblivion awaited others. You've seen the refugees going nowhere. You've heard the executioners sing joyfully. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments when we were together in a white room and the curtain fluttered? Return in thought to the concert where music flared. You gathered acorns in the park in autumn and leaves eddied over the earth scars. Praise the mutilated world and the gray feather a thrush lost, and the gentle light that strays and vanishes and returns.
Good morning. I'm Jessica Sawyer, the worship associate for today's service. My pronouns are she, her. I am dressed in muted colors, have gray hair, and today I'm wearing penny loafers. As Melissa Ferguson comes forward to kindle the chalice, please share in the chat where you are lighting your chalice from. Please rise in body and/or spirit to share the chalice lighting words. We have all been wounded by life. In our pain, we kindle the flame of healing. We have all experienced awe and wonder. In our joy, we kindle the flame of celebration. We have all had visions of a better world. In our hope, we kindle the flame of justice and peace. We have all been blessed by the fruits of the earth. In our gratitude, we kindle our chalice of thanksgiving. Please join in hymn 128. Let us center ourselves and enter into this moment, calling upon all the sources of love that are within, among, and around us. We lift up those in our community and beyond who are living through significant passages, the small and extraordinary milestones of life. We pause to be present to our spiritual companions and to the concerns of our own hearts. Within our Cedar Lane community, Louise Stromarowski is recovering after a fall and making progress. Katie Haga is recovering well from gender confirmation surgery. She appreciates the prayers and support of Cedar Lane. Deborah Vollmer is recovering from hip replacement surgery and is also grateful for the support from our congregation. Our caring extends beyond Cedar Lane to those whose lives have lost and whose lives are impacted by war, violence, and calamities in our nation and around the world. We mourn for all those whose lives are torn apart by violence and death in Gaza and Israel. We are grateful for the release of hostages and prisoners. May these friends of ours, companions in our world, and all the joys and sorrows that we hold in our hearts be held in the embrace of silence and prayer. As we enter the silence together, may we hold the silence as the silence holds us.
You may be seated. Precious and holy source, spirit of life, one known by many names. Boy, are we tired. It is difficult to be people of a liberal faith, people of a liberating faith, people of a progressive faith, people who are so deeply flawed. And boy, are we tired. It is difficult to be human right now amongst so much devastation all over the world, in our homes, in our communities, in our schools, in our friendships, in our states, in our countries. It is difficult to watch genocides upon genocides upon genocides and know that we as humans have done these things times and times again, and we have not learned the lessons that we are better connected. We are so tired. We are mourning. We are grieving. We are angry. We lift our eyes up to the hills, seeking a way forward and remembering to praise the joy, remember the summer, to look to the earth and the changing seasons, to remind ourselves that change does come, to look to our neighbors and our kin and ourselves to be reminded of our values and to act within them, because action changes things. To remember that we are not a perfect people. We are hardly a perfecting people. We are just people, deeply flawed, so imperfect, and so trying to do it differently, to bring everyone along, to rise together, knowing that we swim in the waters that have taught us division, but we are linking together to connect. We are connecting our webs. We are going to rise because we believe it to be so. We know it to be so. Because one thing about humans that we know to be so is that humans are built for connection. And when that is all that we can rely on, that can be enough. And we inhale the beauty of this world, the love and the justice that sometimes come, and we exhale all of the things that make us so tired and so disconnected. And we reach out to those around us and we say, one more time. We will do this one more time. Just one more step. Just one more step. Just one more way forward. Just one more inch. Just one more push. Just one more. Just one more. Until we are all free. Amen. Ashe. And blessed be.
Each Sunday, we give and receive an offering to sustain the mission and ministry of Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Congregation and a community organization in alignment with our mission. Our offering is a visible symbol of our commitment to our religious community and our world. It is a community expression of thanks for the blessings of abundance, to visibly bring in the harvest of this most cherished hour of our week. Our offering says that the act of giving is as essential to our spiritual well-being as anything else we do here on Sunday mornings. Today we share our plate with Mid-County United Ministries, MUM. MUM provides emergency food and assistance to people in crisis in our county, in Silver Spring, Wheaton, Kensington, Rockville, and Aspen Hill communities, with food, medicine, eviction prevention, and utilities, emphasizing client choice, problem solving, and self-sufficiency. Despite the official end of the pandemic, staggeringly high levels of food insecurity persist in our county. And MUM offers several ways that we can make a real difference through our generosity, our involvement, and volunteer support. I hope you will join Betsy Binks after the service and Tanner Ray to learn more about our food ministry and especially our involvement with MUM. They will be meeting in the library, and I hear there will be some delicious homemade donuts to go with. It is food ministry after all, so you will be ministered. As our ushers prepare to receive this morning's offering, may each of us take a moment to look into our hearts, not just our wallets and our checkbooks, and see what is available there. How much love, how much generosity, how much faith, how much gratitude. And let us give and receive our offering from that account. Our offering will now be given and gratefully received. for all that we bring and share to make this a beloved community, may we be grateful. Now, just at that silent place between grief and gratitude, wind-worn balances we all weather, a cardinal leaps from a bare, trim limb, its red bloom lingering. The sun down in deepening darkness where night clouds consume it, evanescence of orange and purple. How moment passes, how memory holds. The heart must break if it has ever felt joy. The heart must break because diminished things matter, and having mattered, hold still. You were here for us. Then break, heart. Your fingers lie upon the pulse of our days. Your fingers lie upon the pulse of our days.
May we be released from all those feelings that would harm us. May we have the will to give them up and get them gone. For heavy are the satchels full of anger and false promise. May we have the strength to put them down. May the lights of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. And may we wish the best for everyone that we encounter. May we swallow pride and may we do away with fear. For it's only what we do not know that we have grown afraid of, and only what we do not choose to hear. May the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the light of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. And as we bless our daily bread and drink our day's libation, may we be reminded of the lost and wayward soul, the hungry and the houseless that we have in every nation. May we fill each empty cup and bowl. May nothing ever come between or threaten to divide us. May we never take for granted all the gifts we receive, being ever mindful of the unseen hand that guides us and the miracle that causes us to believe. May the light of love shine deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you. May the light of love be with you. May the light of love be with you every day.
What a blessing you are. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. So there was this young man who got himself a talking parrot. And it turned out that this parrot had a really foul mouth. And from the day he got the parrot home, it would abuse him in the vilest of language, constantly. Just yell at him, scream obscenities at him, that he finally got so tired of it that he took the parrot and stuck it in the freezer. Yeah. And a few minutes later, regretted doing that and opened the freezer and took the parrot out. Well, the parrot walked out and in the most humble voice said to him, "I am so sorry for all the abuse I leveled at you and for using such foul language and being disrespectful. I will never do this again." Now the young man was surprised. And then the parrot said, "So what did that turkey do?" Anyway. Many of us enter this season believing that Thanksgiving is a time to celebrate abundance, strength, family, friendship, fellowship, and the magnificent rewards of hard work. And so we make a grand meal out of common, ordinary North American harvest foods, a homely and preferably plump bird, grains, potatoes, cranberries, pumpkins, apples. And eating these foods year after year sometimes could get boring, particularly the leftovers. So what do? We spice it up. At least in our household we do. Lalita actually makes a special turkey with an Indian flavor to it. And then we pretty it up But we keep having these ordinary foods. It is a way of participating in our nation's stories and myths and truths about itself. It is a way of remembering the dreams of Europeans who immigrated here. It's a way of remembering the small group of early pilgrims who had seen the people they loved die from starvation, a bitter winter, and had survived. It is a time to remember that these settlers took land from native people by force and deception, used religious justification for the theft of a continent, the genocide of native communities, and the attempted erasure of native cultures. It is a time to recall that a year before the Mayflower landed, a ship sailed into the muddy harbor of Jamestown, Virginia on August 3rd, 1619, and the captain exchanged human cargo for food, and 20 Africans stepped ashore on this land, the first of the greatest forced migration in the world, unwilling and fettered to this continent. It is a time, looking upon these things, to grow silent before the meal, recognizing in it the labor of all those who have brought us to this day, to express gratitude to ancestors who labored so they could rise on the land, and to fall silent before others, those who had no choices about where they would work or for whom or when. It is a time to find our way home, or find our way toward what home we might make. It is a time to acknowledge and be grateful for the cycles, seasons, and struggles of our lives, and for making it through once again to this season of thanksgiving and thanksgrieving. See, this Thanksgiving, I'm mindful of the suffering and grief in our world. The ongoing war and violence in Israel and Gaza and West Bank, in Ukraine, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, Somalia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. The list is endless. I'm also mindful of the violence here against black, brown, indigenous people, against trans people and queer people, of hatred against Jews and Muslims, and all of this happening in the larger context of a climate crisis, and all the fears that come with that about what our lives and our children's lives and our children's children's lives will be. There is much trouble in these times, and it is all a lot to hold. Thanksgiving makes refugees of us all, or at least it should. Because are we not all refugees in one manner or another as we travel from year to year in our lives? The people we must leave behind, the suffering that none of us is spared, the adjustments and compromises we must make to changing circumstances, all these conditions affect us, make survivors of us sooner or later. Now, it may seem a bit strange to talk about ourselves as survivors. But those who are survivors know that gratitude for being alive is mixed with grief and guilt and a sense of loss. And such sadness is the emotional undertow of every holiday, and it is part of what life is like for many of us. But it is also why it is so important to give thanks. Giving thanks is our way of staying whole, despite the trials and losses and heartbreaks we all endure. To give thanks is to be alive. It is to acknowledge the gift that each of us receives unconditionally and to experience this reality in whatever way it comes to us. And this form of gratitude is not a consequence of happiness, but is a conscious and deliberate choice we make in our life. It is more than a feeling or an emotion. It is an attitude, a way of being. But sometimes it is not easy getting to gratitude. Not easy because bad things, tough things, terrible things happen in our lives and in our world. Millions of people die from a terrible disease. Thousands are killed by wanton violence at the hands of a gunman or a militant group or a state. People go hungry and without homes. We feel burdened by responsibilities that are sometimes more than we can bear. A loved one dies. A relationship ends. We get a terminal diagnosis that we weren't expecting. We lose a job. How can we be grateful when so often reality browbeats our spirit? Times like these are the very times when we need to find a way to lean into gratitude. Lean into gratitude with our grief, with our sorrow, through lament. Gratitude and lament. Now, although it may seem like gratitude and lament have nothing in common, they are both spiritual practices that are rooted in remembering the faithfulness of that courageous divine love that will not let us go, let us down, or let us off the hook, whatever name you may wish to call it or not. In her book, The Geography of Grief, psychotherapist Frances Weller talks about learning to hold the tension between gratitude and grief. She writes, "The work of a mature person is to carry grief in one hand and gratitude in the other, and to be stretched large by them. How much sorrow can I hold? That's how much gratitude I can give. If I carry only grief, I will bend towards cynicism and despair. And if I have only gratitude, I'll become saccharine and won't develop much compassion for other people's suffering. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which makes compassion possible." So lament enters that complicated space between grief and gratitude, of deep disappointment and lingering pain, even if it is messy. See, it takes courage and faith to lament. Silence is easier, denial more so. And lament speaks out about what is wrong. Lament calls us to act, and lament boldly reaffirms the goodness of life. We get to gratitude through lament. Now, in both the Jewish and Islamic traditions, lament is an important spiritual practice. The Psalms and the Book of Lamentations are grounded in lament. And in the Quran, lamentation is invoked frequently as a way to not just to complain to God, to curse, to mourn, to grieve, to recommit. And the Arabic term for lament has a root that connects with the Hebrew term for lament. Interesting, isn't it? And lament boldly reaffirms the goodness of life. And the Arabic term for gratitude, which is shukr, shukriya, shukr. And the Hebrew term for gratitude, hakarat hatov, both mean recognizing the good. Gratitude is about recognizing what is good in our lives, even when we are facing things in our lives that are not so good. And lament is a helpful and life-giving language that transforms our pain and our suffering into platforms of praise instead of pits of despair.
Oh, man. Say that one again.
All right. Lament is a life-giving language that transforms our pains into platforms of praise instead of pits of despair. That happens at 4 o'clock in the morning. And our challenge, our spiritual challenge, is to honestly express lament without fear and without jumping to thanks and praise too soon, trusting that we will get there sooner or later. See, unfortunately, Unitarian Universalists do not have many practices of lamentation. We don't. And our celebratory singing, while not wrong, doesn't usually lead us through our sorrow. And it sometimes seems to drown out the struggles with an invitation to rejoice. But you see, embracing joy without wrestling with tough questions can feel incomplete, even fake. So, we need to lament. We must lament. We must lament when Jewish children and elders are brutally killed in the name of liberation. We must lament when Palestinian children in refugee camps are bombed and killed, when schools and hospitals and entire neighborhoods are laid waste. We must lament when the oppressed, the poor, the weak are under attack, when their homes are stolen or demolished, when they're forced to migrate and to live in unspeakable conditions in open-air prisons, perpetually as refugees under occupation. We must lament when international law is treated like a naive suggestion. We must lament when anti-Semitism and Islamophobia rear their ugly heads, even in progressive spaces. We must lament. Yes, it may be difficult. Yes, it is messy. Yes, we will make mistakes. And yes, we may be afraid, but we must lament. Countless lives and the liberation of all of us depend on our breaking our silences. And lament leads to a change of heart, a conversion, if you will, a way of being in the world in which we know that every act of love we bring adds to the chance that love wins, that love works. Bishop Carlton Pearson, a beloved friend and colleague passed away this past week, he preached that gospel of love, of how love wins, how the beloved community remains a possible outcome despite the violence and hatred and death and destruction and suffering, that it is possible. A path that holds hope, that holds the past with the present. The Reverend Erica Hewitt writes of getting a call from a friend, the mother of a 4-year-old twins, working full-time and grieving a recent divorce, learning how to be a single parent. "I lost it tonight," her friend confessed. "The kids pushed me over the limit at bedtime. I yelled and then I started sobbing so hard that I had to sit on the floor. I hate that my children had to see that. I am so overwhelmed." She continued, "But I work with a woman who lived through the Bosnian War," and fill in any war or tragedy you like here, Gaza, Ukraine, Somalia. "I work with a woman who lived through that war, and she is still smiling. So I figure I should be able to do this. I should be grateful and stop complaining." Now, that young mother was experiencing her pain as a competitive sport. Her suffering so much less painful than the violence of war. A hierarchy of pain and loss. The violence suffered by Israelis worse somehow than the violence against Palestinians, or vice versa. The oppression of black people more worthy of address than the violence done to native peoples. But you see, suffering is not a zero-sum game. Suffering does not justify suffering, and one injustice does not justify another, and one crime does not warrant another. And revenge cannot be a plan of action for a state. We can and must demand other solutions, ones that are based not on more death, more destruction, more loss, more retribution, but on a fundamental acknowledgement that all human beings are equal and deserve to live in freedom, in peace. Every single one. And what I also believe is that there is no hierarchy of grief or fear. No hierarchy in which someone else's pain invalidates our own, but we also cannot allow our own pain, our own struggles, or even the violence of our world to leave us stuck in lamentation. We need to see a path toward liberation that does not deny the harm we feel, does not deny the harm we see, that does not allow the truth of harm to inure us or hold us back. Suffering is simply suffering. Our choice is how we respond to it. And if suffering is caused by inequity, injustice, by anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, transphobia, racism, sexism, misogyny, colonialism, if suffering is caused by institutional structures and systems, we can choose to work to change those structures. The point here is to cultivate awareness, to be present to all the suffering in our lives and in the world on the one hand, and to practice gratitude on the other. Gratitude with awareness. Gratitude is a choice. It is a prevailing attitude that endures through our gains and our losses, our triumphs and our tragedies, our joys and our sorrows. It is not a consequence of happiness, but is a conscious and deliberate relationship with life. It is a recognition that we are alive and that we are interconnected to other living things and our earth. It is a reminder that all that comes to us is not so much something we deserve as it is something that comes to us by grace. It is a recognition of the fullness of life, not just the things that make us happy, but the totality of living. It is an openness to what life is bringing us and an openness to the lessons we can learn from it. And so, dear ones, in this good gathered company, we do know joy and sorrow, fear and longing, hope and despair, grief and gratitude. Every day is different, but every day is all we have in each of our lives, in the life of this body we call our spiritual home. And moment by moment, day by day, our job is to show up, to pay attention. And in paying attention, grieve and give thanks for the whole of our lives, through it all cultivating that awareness of gratitude. And as we do that and we become more and more mindful of our lives, hopefully we see life in its fullness. And hopefully we find ourselves part of a great circle. What we put out into the world starts to come back to us. And as we cultivate gratitude, more comes back our way. It is a world where possibility lives, where hope and forgiveness live, where justice and peace can be made manifest. It is in times like these, when hope can seem far away, that we particularly need this mindfulness. So let us pray. Nameless one of many names, and beyond all naming, who moves in us, among us, through us, we give thanks for this day. We give thanks for the voices of children, for beautiful autumn days, for the things we can understand, and for all those things we cannot. May we open ourselves to see all that life offers us. May we live with our grief. May we live in hope. May we live in joy. May we live with a deepening sense of gratitude. In the name of all that is holy and life-affirming and life-sustaining, we say, Shalom, Salam, Om Shanti, Amen, Ashe, blessed be. Our closing words are adapted from President John F. Kennedy's last Thanksgiving Day proclamation, which he issued 18 days before his assassination 60 years ago on November 4th, 1963. Today we give our thanks for the ideals of honor and faith we inherit from our forebears, for the decency of purpose, steadfastness of resolve, and the strength of will, for the courage and the humility which they possessed and which we must seek every day to emulate. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Let us therefore proclaim our gratitude to Providence for manifold blessings. Let us be humbly thankful for inherited ideals, and let us resolve to share those blessings and those ideals with our fellow human beings throughout the world. Let us gather in sanctuaries dedicated to worship and in homes blessed by family affection to express our gratitude for the glorious gifts of God. And let us earnestly and humbly pray that God will continue to guide and sustain us in the great unfinished tasks of achieving peace, justice, and understanding among all people and nations, and of ending misery and suffering wherever they exist. Oof. May it be so.
We have a few announcements.
We do.
Just a couple few.
November 29th, as we all know by now, is Giving Tuesday,
Woohoo!
which is a day to celebrate and support the organizations that we care about deeply. It also happens to be the final day of our Elevating Our Vision campaign to raise the funds needed to fully fund our wonderful renovation that is making such great progress. If you haven't had a chance, I invite you to just take a peek into the sanctuary today after service. You will see some of the transformation that is happening, as well as the new social hall that's coming together.
It's looking so nice.
It is.
Yeah.
94 generous Cedar Lane families have committed to more than $610,000 to date.
That's awesome.
Yes. 94 families, incredible generosity. Thank you for your generosity and support.
Mm-hmm.
And now if you can help us get to 700,000 by Giving Tuesday, we would be all set.
Yes.
And we can do it if 39 families make a pledge of $100 per month for the next 2 years.
That's
It is
just
doable.
$25 a week.
$25 a week. And how much is that per day?
Just,
Not even $4.
yeah, I mean, give or take,
That's right.
We'll take. They can give.
Right. Good one.
I thought you'd appreciate that. All right, and I'm super excited about Holiday Craft Day. Is anyone else excited about Holiday Craft Day? Woo! It's exciting. It is one of Cedar Lane's beloved activities. If you're new here, I think that you should definitely come to it, attend it, and for Holiday Craft Day to happen, it is one of our volunteer-run, super stupendous events. And for it to happen, we need more team support. We need additional help. If you are a student, you get SSL hours for it. So come on down, sign up to be a volunteer. Holiday Craft Day cannot happen without you. It literally is you that make it happen.
I think
you.
we've been doing this for just 60 years?
Oh, just 60.
Only
Just-
60.
I mean,
Yep.
I would hate for this to be the year that it is.
Right, and it is such a communal gathering and an event.
Right? You're going to be there, though, because you were like, SSL hours, sign me up. Right? Yeah?
I think your mom already did.
When is it?
It is Saturday, December 2nd, all day, and then their setup is happening on Friday. There'll be so many wonderful arts and crafts for people to participate in preparation for the holiday season. And there's also going to be some wonderful caroling.
Yeah. It's
Right,
a lot
Eric?
of fun.
And Jenny? Awesome. And Stacy Small-Lorenz. Wonderful.
Oh, cool.
And we have an important climate action happening on December 5th at 7 p.m., which is being hosted by Action in Montgomery AIM at Good Hope United Methodist Church in Silver Spring. It is in support of Maryland's goal to reduce emissions by 60% by 2031. And AIM is advocating for the Inflation Reduction Act funding to be directed to low moderate income households and multifamily dwellings. There's a flyer that gives more information, and also Pilar from AIM is here, one of the organizers, and she will be available after service to answer any questions you may have.
This is a really important event. So hopefully you all join AIM and we can make this happen. This is really important. And we are at that time in the service that makes some Unitarian Universalists, I hear an echo, I sound like God in my ears. Hello, this is God. I knew I sounded like me. Seriously though, this is a time in the service that makes some people a little bit antsy, especially if you might have a little bit of a religious trauma. But I want you to know that at Cedar Lane, we're not going to do anything that hurts you or anything that makes you feel like you have to do anything you don't want to do. But it is time now. If you are feeling like you have come to Cedar Lane and you want to be a part of Cedar Lane and sign our membership book, like people have done every week since we've started this, please join me in the front of the congregation here, in the front of the chapel after we leave, and you can sign the membership book and join us in this great fun of being members of Cedar Lane, joining this amazing congregation of people, learning about Unitarian Universalism, growing together, etc. I'm not going to put my full Southern Baptist roots into this because I don't want to scare y'all, but we're good people. You know you want to. Join us. And that is all. That is all. We're here. I'll be right up here in the front. Don't you worry. Nothing bad will happen. I was going to ask Cara Dwynn, but I don't believe... Cara Dwynn, are you in here? Cara Dwynn joined last week and is still alive and well. So please join us.
As are Destiny and Rachel.
Destiny is still here, and Rachel. See? Excellent. And now you can join us in singing hymn 1010, We Give Thanks, in your teal hymnal. And thank you for, also, we've just been having a few AV problems with our thingy. That is not our AV people's fault. That is just electronic issues, okay? So try the teal hymnal, and the words may or may not come up there, but they are definitely in the teal hymnal. And it's not their fault. They're doing their best.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.